So this is the Gauntlet Hangouts, and we are playing Bubblegumshoe. Now, we have Catherine Rahman on the Hangouts, who's a Gumshoe expert. I am a passable Gumshoe person. She runs stuff, and she's very good at it, and she actually helped me quite a bit with Trail of Cthulhu. So I'm willing to give it a shot to do some more Gumshoe here in this. And Bubblegumshoe is exciting and interesting to me. So this is our teen detective story game, and it's actually one of the first of the sort of the teen genre games that came out. We've now seen a lot of this based on Stranger Things and so on, but this came out a couple years ago. So it's interesting that it kind of led the pack. I think it sometimes gets forgotten. It's written by Emily Care Boss, Kenneth Hite, and Lisa Steele. Comes out from Evil Hat. So Gumshoe is a game that has a investigative mechanic that doesn't involve roles. It involves characters having different sets of academic and interpersonal skills to find clues. They go into a location, they ask questions, they get certain key information, and they can also make some spends to try and get additional things. And then it has a very, very simple resolution system that's based about spends and a D6. And that core mechanic goes across all of these games. And we're going to kind of try it out today. We're going to get a taste for things with an introductory scenario. And I'm probably going to hard frame our characters in a little bit once we know who everyone is, and get that worked out. This is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. If you're curious about this online gaming group, you can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. I record most of my sessions, so if you're interested in actual play videos, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Gauntlet Hangouts also takes safety tools pretty seriously. So all of our games use at least some basic safety tool. In our case, we're using the X card. I know everyone here is familiar with the X card, all right? Kurt, you've used it before. But just to restate, the X card is the ability for us to say we've hit material that I find objectionable, I find problematic, that I find wildly off tone, any of those kinds of things that we're uncomfortable with. And it's entirely your choice about how you want to do that. If you do X card either visually or in the chat, or also in our roll for the party, you can hit the X card there. I may ask for a clarification about what we're going past, but we will excise that with no question. I've used the X card at the table before, and it's been one of those things where there have been many games I wish I had the X card at. So that is out there for people. So just keep that in mind. I think it's especially important because this game is primarily set as a high school game with all of the fraught things that occur from that. So there are lots of those issues that go into it. What I want to do before we get started, like in full earnest, because we're going to do tone discussion, character creation, and play. We're going to take a break at the midpoint. I want to talk about what kind of game people would like, what kind of shape, what kind of thing that they are imagining here. And I'm going to throw this start out with Agatha, because Agatha is the one who asked for a Bubblegumshoe game. And so I wanted to see, Agatha, what is it that you're imagining? What is it the kind of thing that you would like?
I think I would really like something like Detective Conan. I think all of my like teenage detective inspiration comes from like stuff of the Japanese persuasion. So like a lot of different animes and light novels that are like that. So maybe a little surreal kind of.
Okay.
Sometimes in terms of like crime solving, like, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to do like crazy gadgetry
like
Detective
absolutely.
Conan does.
But it's a fairly it's a game that is not as fraught with relationship peril. It's still high school stuff, and where there are relationships, it's maybe a little more melodrama.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am good with like Wait, when you say, what do you mean by relationship peril?
Oh, so uh, uh, in Detective Conan, while people get on each other's nerves and their status and things like that, the characters aren't undercutting one another. It isn't the horrible complexity of say Veronica Mars, where high school is just terrible and everyone is awful to one another and so on. So Detective Conan is a Japanese anime and very long running manga series. And basically, it's high school detectives is sort of the premise. Except, of course, our main character has, how do I put this? This is going to say it's an anime. He has gotten de-aged, so he's a little kid, but he has the brain of this incredibly smart high school detective, and he goes and he solves high school detective problems and real world detective things, and he has lots of gadgets. But we're going to stay from the gadget side of things. But it is a little more gentler approach to things. I think I want to see if that is okay. And let me talk tone then. Asher, what are you thinking? Are you good with that? Do you want to modify those terms a little bit?
The thing I'm thinking with Detective Conan is it doesn't seem to take place out of school, right? Like this is all out in the world.
Oh, well, that would be for. I'm talking more tone. This definitely is going to be set in a high school, is my imagining there.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to see like an anime high school, like how that would look.
Okay,
I think that
absolutely.
would be fun.
So write the character personalities maybe a little bit larger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah,
And
like
we can
animation stuff.
yeah, we can certainly. What I'll do is when we make up our characters, we'll define some things about that high school, and we can make it as anime as we would want it to be in those regards. Sherry, what about you?
I am so super cool with anime high school.
Okay. Kurt, does that work with you for your imagining of this?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have as many touchstones.
Okay.
I come from more of a Riverdale Veronica Mars kind of high school detective fiction, but I can totally go with anime high school.
Okay.
I'll draw on my Bleach knowledge.
Okay. First season Bleach, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, let's play with it. And if at some point people are like, let's redial the tone or let's redial the approach, just say, and we'll work with that. And we'll go through the characters. So what we're going to do is we're going to do character creation. And as I mentioned in the email, we've got some archetype builds. And I've built these different character types. And they have, of course, the investigative and the interpersonal sets. And then down below, the general sets. These are pre-made spends on the different abilities. You're going to get some extra points to spread around on them. And I just kind of made them up. They don't actually mean all that much, but there are ways to give you maybe a frame to hang a character on. Let's start with you, Agatha. What were you thinking of? Was there a particular one of these archetypes or builds that appealed to you?
Yeah, I want to go with the online one.
Okay.
Yeah, I basically filled it out already.
Okay. And you'll have the 2 points more to spend on investigative, 3 on interpersonal, and then on 12 on the general ones. And you can also move points around as you see fit.
Yeah, I kind of want to wait on what everyone has so we can have like an even spread.
That is exactly
all
the way.
Skills.
Exactly the way to do that. Asher, what were you thinking? Oh. Sherry, what were you thinking?
I was thinking what I had was I really wanted to play someone whose parent was a teacher at the school, because I think that always causes, or that is always a little interesting. They have they know about the break rooms and all of the teacher drama and those kinds of things. So they've got a sort of behind the classrooms view into things a little bit. So I was thinking I can do that with either a good girl or with goodie or with an athlete.
Okay. Kurt, what were you thinking?
I was thinking the outsider type of character.
Okay.
I mean, I was using Jughead as the touchstone there.
That's
so.
actually that's sort of who I had in my mind
Okay.
when I was doing that. So yeah.
All right. It'll be a comics Jughead, not a Riverdale Jughead if we're going anime.
Okay.
I gotta keep him a little silly.
So outsider, online, either goody or athlete. Asher, what were you thinking?
I was thinking doing the nerd. I was
Okay.
thinking doing like a nerd on the student council or whatever.
Mhm.
So that kind of like brings me into things.
That seems perfect. So feel free to go ahead and grab, and you can just kind of cut and paste those into those sheets, into those first two columns on those things. You should be able to like select both sets, both columns in a thing, and just drop them by hitting the top cell and then doing paste. Does anyone have any questions on what any of those skills mean?
Yeah, what does grown-up face mean?
So grown-up face is where you try to essentially present yourself as older than you are to someone. And let me find the exact definition that they give with it. Essentially, it is the ability to get information from an adult by making the adult take you seriously.
And these things go in the rating column, right? These numbers?
Right. So you put those in the rating column, and then you'll set the pool to equal that.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mistyped that on the archetype sheet. It should be academic and interpersonal on the archetype sheet.
And then the points we have to spend, are those one for one?
Those are absolutely one for one.
Okay. If it's all right, I'll probably put points in like as we build the town and stuff, and as we figure out a little bit about who everybody is.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome to save points around.
Can you talk about like how rolling works? Like what do we use these points for?
Absolutely. So what's going to happen is whenever you need to make a roll, I will tell you the difficulty, and the average difficulty is going to be something like a 3+ or a 4+. You're literally just rolling a d6. And what you can do is you're only ever, rolling off of your general skills, and you spend points before you roll. So if I tell you it's a difficulty 4, you get to choose, whether you want to, guarantee the success or if you want to take a little bit of a risk. The only one of those that's a little bit different is that cool is kind of your overall social hit points.
And I have 12, but the little stat thing only goes to 10. Should I just type it in, or is it not supposed to go to 12?
No, it can go to 12.
Okay.
I was defaulting on that. In fact, I will actually adjust your pool thing. I will change the data in that. Data validation.
All right. So I got a little distracted looking at stats. What step are we on? Where are we? What kind of stuff are we still talking about?
Well, right now I'm having people pick out and choose those columns, and then I thought we might talk about characters and things, and what people are imagining for their characters, and I'll talk in that a little bit about relationships. So what it has at the top, I'm going to talk just about the other elements we're going to be picking. And then I want to maybe go around and have people tell us what they're imagining for their characters. And also at that point, we can talk about, what of the academic interpersonal skills haven't been covered that people might want to put their points into. So school is going to be, we're going to make up the school. We're going to give it a name. Class at the top is for you to define your socioeconomic class. It's a little less important in this kind of game, but it is there. Your clique is essentially the crowd that you run with. And everyone should choose a club that you are part of in some way, shape, or form. And then one of the other things they have is your drive. This is essentially the motivation for your character. What makes them get involved in problems? What makes them curious about things? What gets them mixed up in craziness? And one of the things we're going to have as a default assumption for our play is that all four of you know each other. Your friends. It might be strained at times, but you are all friends in some way, shape, or form. You're going to get 13 points in a second to spend on relationships, and you can look at the relationships tab for that. Basically, for a relationship, you'll define a name, what they kind of mean to you. You'll give it a rating. It's a pool that you can spend. Relationships can be used to get access to abilities you might not otherwise have. Get a particular relationship NPC to do something for you or to be on your side, to get them to do something risky. As a bonus when you're involved in working with the relationship NPC, or to get you into some place you might not otherwise have access to. There are a number of different ways that relationships can be used. And I want to recommend that you can define a few of those at the start, and we can put names to things. But you should save some of those points, and in play you can say, oh, well, I happen to know the janitor, and this is the janitor's name, and I come up with that, or I happen to know this person or that person. And we can certainly do that on the fly. So, Agatha, if I were to ask you kind of to tell us what you're imagining for your character, what are you thinking?
I am defaulting back to kind of like a teenage detective stereotype. So like Encyclopedia Brown,
okay,
or like Conan, Edogawa Conan.
Shinichi before he gets shrunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like kind of I feel like her motivation is that she's like she wants to solve mysteries, and like, or that's her drive, and she's kind of like really nerdy, sort of like she's like really active on like internet and stuff, and she's like on different social media, and she's kind of like, even though she's nerdy, she's like she has good social skills.
Okay.
Depending, I think, because of the stuff that I chose. So she's like not popular, but like gets along with people.
Do you imagine that in the sort of high school age that she's sort of freshman, sophomore, or is she a little older? What are you imagining?
I think she's probably maybe like sophomore.
Okay. So been there a little bit, but still kind of the younger. They're still couple years above her. Okay.
Yeah.
And what club?
Oh, can there be a detective club? Oh man, I should
like a mystery club? Like they read mystery novels?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't Japan, so I understand that that's not a thing. But yeah, or maybe I'm not sure. Also, I realized about like in terms of skill allocation, I have really high in computers, and I think Asher, your nerd character has really high in Ghost Hunting Club. Yes. Sorry, that was
No, that seems
Asher's
fair.
comment. Yeah, I really want to go with that.
Okay.
She's a part of the Ghost Hunting Club. She's such a nerd. And I love her. But also we have overlap but I guess we can talk about that in the chat in our skills.
Sure. But you're pointing that maybe you'd want to shift some of the computer points around to somewhere else, is what you're thinking a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we can figure out which one of us wants to shift those, because I have 8 in it, which is really high, so I could move
So
those.
let me ask you a question then. What do your parents think of this?
The ghost hunting?
The whole fact that probably for the last several years you've continually gotten in trouble, like solving things, and maybe putting your nose in where it might not have been appreciated. What do your parents think? Are they approving of your activities, or are they flustered, or do they just not notice?
I think it probably is like I'm just living with my dad,
Okay.
and I feel like he's kind of like he doesn't really know what to do about it.
Okay.
Like he's like, it's good to have interests and friends, but like I don't also like, what is this ghost thing? And I feel like we sometimes have trouble communicating with each other, like what is really happening. And I think he like he struggles between like putting the foot down and then also being like, but I want to like know what's going on in your life, kind of thing.
I recommend, if you haven't seen it, it's a terrible movie and yet it's still good. The Nancy Drew movie from a number of years ago, the remake, and the dad is flustered with Nancy Drew. You know, he wants her to be smart, involved, but he also wants her to get like involved in regular things. Can't quite communicate with her on that. So I like that.
Perfect. That's my dad.
Do you have a name?
Oh, I didn't come up with a name yet, but I shall.
Okay.
It will be there.
Asher, we talked a little bit about the nerdishness that you're imagining here. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I was imagining my character is like trying to get superpowers, that kind of nerd. So I think they like always wear like an eye patch that has like snake skin on it or something, right? Like nobody ever sees one of their eyes. You know, just like trying to like spread rumors about different things.
So they're very, and they've got these affectations of that they're into.
Yeah. I just heard a story where someone wore like black contacts like all through high school so that nobody knew what color eyes they had. So that was kind of the idea I was going with.
That is awesome. What kind of nerd are you?
That's a good question.
And
I guess like
what gender identity?
I'll go with non-binary, so
Okay.
they them.
Okay.
And had the name Cammy. So maybe like mythology, right? Like sorcery and myths and stuff.
So like probably a few years ago was one of the last holdouts to be super into Percy Jackson and those novels and those movies and all of that mythology, or were you frustrated about the liberties that those movies and stories took?
Yeah, I think I would be frustrated with the movies and like read all the other books around it, you know.
Okay. How did you come to be on student council?
That's a good question. I imagine because I actually knew about it, like no one was applying, so like I was the only one on the ballot or something, and then I had to like learn how to deal with the people.
Like, do you think that the student council is super respected or super ignored, or are they, you know, the reason that there was no ballot is they were trying to hide it and keep their power? What was the reason?
I think people just don't really understand what the student council does, right? Like that, everybody just thinks they do like prom committee or something, you know.
They don't understand all the responsibilities that you have to bear at the school, right?
Yeah, that's why it's so important for nerds to get involved.
Yes. And what's your family life like?
I imagine I was like the oldest child.
Okay.
And that I put like a upper middle class, so I can actually buy all these books and things. You know, have access to these.
You say you're the oldest child, so like one sibling, multiple siblings?
Yeah, maybe two siblings, like still in elementary.
Okay, so much younger.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how old we are, but
Well, maybe teens. I assume. Do you think you measure yourself as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior to use the U.S. classifications?
probably like a sophomore because I'm on student council, right? That'd be weird.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And what is your drive?
Hates not knowing, right? I'm trying to find out all these mysteries and to make myself more powerful, hopefully.
Okay. I like that. There's a certain Mr. Glass thing to that. All right. So Sherry, I'm going to come to you and have you tell us about your character. Did you go with the athlete or the goodie?
I went with the athlete.
Okay.
Because I think that sometimes the goodie kind of, how do you say, they're their own obstacle, right? So I went with athlete because I look at it as my mom is probably the trigonometry teacher, and she knew that we would be going to the school that she was teaching at. So she always counseled us to do the safe thing socially. Because we don't have a lot of money. Athletics is good because, you know, you could just wear your uniform around or gym clothes and everyone thinks you're fine and cool. You know, they have expectations for you, but not, you know, then you don't have all the academic pressure in theory. That was her theory. So.
And a freshman, sophomore, junior, or a little bit older, a little bit younger?
No, I would say sophomore.
Okay.
Like been here enough that she knows the building and, you know, a bunch of the people and stuff, but not like she's an old hand at it yet.
Okay. And I'm hearing she, her for gender.
Yes, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
She has a safe name too, Allison.
Okay. Allison. Okay. And so, what is your club then? What is your sport?
Let's see. Well, my sports, I have one for every season. If I remember correctly, from all the all sports girls that were in my high school, it was volleyball, track, softball.
Okay.
Was what you did. Maybe basketball in there, but I don't think. Yeah, I think it was volleyball, softball. So you do those, but those aren't really clubs. That's just where you go.
Okay. Do you belong to a club then in addition?
Yes.
What club do you belong to?
I belong to a club that, let's see here, is going to stick around for a while after work, after school, so that I can go home with my mom, and it's sort of natural like. Like something, I want something that's like at school, like taking care of the aquariums or the, you know, the stuff in the biology lab or that, like the animals. Like it's kind of a, you got to have connections to get into it because it's doing kind of cute stuff.
Okay. So like a science club.
Yes. Well, no, but yeah, sure. Yes, I'm in the science club.
Okay. Does it have a cooler name than that?
No, they don't have a cooler name, but I get to feed the animals for the biology thing and take care of all of them. So that's the cool thing about it.
Siblings?
Yes,
Okay.
I have 2 younger sisters.
How much younger?
One of them's in middle school, and the other one's going to be in middle school next year.
Do you still have to babysit for them?
Only if my parents are going to be out pretty darn late.
Okay.
Like, they're cool until 9, but after that, someone has to go and make sure that they get ready.
Okay. Okay. That brings us to Kurt. Kurt, tell us about your outsider.
All right. Jace Buckethead Jones. His friends call him Buck. I think he is quite unpopular.
Okay.
And so he's going to be a little older. So we'll go with a junior, but he hangs out with all these young kids because his kids his grade don't want to talk to him.
And so what are the I mean, do we know how you got the Buckethead name? Or are there urban legends about it?
I think the Buckethead name is a little mundane. I think someone jammed a bucket on his head at a basketball game and he couldn't get it off and everyone started calling him Buckethead.
Is that what rendered him unpopular, or is there other things?
Yeah, that was probably freshman year, and that just sort of set the course for high school. Like, nobody wants to hang out with Buckethead. He's also I think he's probably a little like dour, like he's not a fun kid. And he's super into photography though, so he's probably like on the school paper or something that'll let him do photography and get out of class.
Okay, so you think you are in the newspaper / journalism as your club?
Yeah.
What's your family like?
Well, it's just me and mom. Dad disappeared when I was a kid, but I still have the pictures from when I was little. I have pictures of us, so I really care about making sure that memories are recorded.
And what's your drive?
So I'm stuck on that. I have sense of justice, but I don't know. I'm all over the place on this one.
Sure.
I kind of want to go family code, but then I have to come up with what that code is.
Like, do you imagine that your mom is in some job or role that is also involved with justice or with the law or something?
I was thinking more mom's got some weird code.
Okay.
Like maybe there's a ghost like society here, right? Like people hunt ghosts and things like that.
Yes.
Is there a supernatural element to this world, or is that just people wish there was, or we don't know?
Oh boy, I think that it has. I think that people have to think there's a supernatural element, but we don't know whether
I think people call my mom a witch, but
okay.
Who knows what that means?
And how did that come about?
She moved from like the spooky town 2 towns over.
Okay.
Like when my dad disappeared, we moved here from the spooky town, whatever that is.
Spooksburg, something like that.
Okay. You can use Greenville if you want. And so there's rumors that mom's a witch, but I mean, come on, witches aren't real.
I like that. So do you mention when you say dour, does that is it just manner or is it dress as well?
No, I think he sort of wears a lot of like grays and like a lot of layers and yeah. I wonder if he has a cap. Nah, I don't want to go too Jughead.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, no cap.
I like that. Agatha, your character's name is then
Kennedy Williams.
Okay. Well, let's take a minute and let's walk through and let's take them sort of block by block. And on academic, does someone at least have a point in fashion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I took one in it.
We have at least 1 point in notice, right?
Does anyone have
one.
notice?
Yeah, I see Cammy has one.
I have
Yeah.
2.
Okay, so good. We're covered on that. Outdoors,
I got 2.
photography. We know that Buck has that.
Yeah, I got 2.
Pop culture, someone has that. Yep.
Yeah.
Research, does someone have that? Yeah, looks like it. Scholarship,
1.
1. We got a couple of ones, and town lore.
1.
Okay. So it looks like we've got all of those covered. Let's go down to interpersonal. BS detector.
1.
Okay.
1.
Flattery.
Don't have it.
Me neither. I can change one of mine to that. I'll just. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Flirting.
1.
Okay. Gossip.
Yes.
1.
I got 2.
All right. Impersonate.
I got 1 there.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Oh, and grown-up face. Sorry, I skipped that one.
I also
Yeah,
have
got
1 on that one.
Intimidation.
2.
2. Negotiation. Looks like we've got a
2.
lot on the negotiations. We're covered on that pretty strongly. So
Oh.
we've got 2, 1, 2, 2, and 1 on those.
Oh, I can take something else. It would make sense for me to have a little bit of grown-up face since my mom's a teacher. So
Okay.
I will do that and take out my negotiation.
Performance. It looks like we have a couple there.
I have 1 there.
Reassurance. It looks like we've got a couple on that. And taunt. It
2.
looks like we have some taunt there. Good. And then if you want to look at the general stuff, I'll let you all glance and see if you feel like you're good with your niche, or if you want to change something. Or I know you and Asher were negotiating about computers. Any shifts anyone wants to do on those? Big shifts, little shifts?
So
Yeah, I
haven't.
shifted a lot. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I haven't put any of my points in yet on those.
Okay.
I was gonna raise sneak pretty high. I don't know if anybody else is super sneaky.
Doesn't look like anybody is.
I got 6 in sneak,
6 is.
I got
6.
3.
Yeah.
and I added more to preparedness. I have 6 in preparedness too.
So is it better to have higher ones, like to kind of have less but more like higher levels, or like how does?
Let's ask Sherry, who has played the Gumshoe.
Okay, so the resolution system is a hellscape. Essentially what it is you're rolling a d6. Your skills, how you use them is their pool. You're actually going to spend these down. So let's say that there's a really important athletics roll that's coming up and I really need to succeed it. And he says, you've got a difficulty of 5. I'm rolling a d6. I could naturally just roll really well, or I could roll a 1 and not fail it. If I really need to do it, I'm going to have to spend 4. Okay. And then they're gone for the rest of the thing until we do a refresh. And you have to spend them before you roll. It's not like you can go, oh, I just need 1 more to get over. Nope. You got to spend them ahead of time. So it's this sort of weird gamble thing. There's no bell curve. There's just a 1 to 6 and add whatever you're willing to give up. So usually, like if you're saying, well, I would like to be able to do something at least once, you take like 2 in it because you can add that 2 to a roll and probably do okay. And so 4 means maybe you'll get two uses. You're kind of thinking of it that way before the refresh goes. Sneaking, you put however many, and if that's like, a lot of times a sneaking roll is going to be a critical roll. First aid would be a critical roll, those kinds of things. So,
and one of the things to think about with like sneaking or some of those kinds of things is those are abilities that you can piggyback, where one person with a really good score makes the roll and everybody else spends a point to take their result. And you can do that kind of thing. And you can also cooperate by pooling on a skill check for some things.
Is that always the case, or just with Gumshoe?
You mean just with Bubblegumshoe? Yeah, that is always the case.
Oh,
yeah.
You've never presented that as an option before. You are an evil GM.
Maybe, but yeah.
So it is better then to have a more general spread, so that you always have like at least 1 or 2 points available to spend on.
For things that you might want to piggyback on, I would say if we imagine that, that's probably going to be things like athletics, for like climbing or running, things like that, or sneaking are probably a couple that we're looking at as strong ones to piggyback on. So let's talk about the town, and let's talk about the school. So we've got a scary town, a few towns over. So I imagine we're not talking a major urban center, that we're talking a town or a small city. Does that seem fair? A town on the upswing or on the downswing? What do you think, Agatha?
Let's say on the upswing.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Town on the upswing. Asher, what is the major industry for the town? What's the big thing for it?
I imagine it's like land, like in the middle of, so probably like farming.
Okay.
Maybe like wind. They have a lot of wind power.
Okay. So wind power, and we've got farming, maybe organic farming in the area, that kind of thing, making it a little more upscale. And unlike certain districts in Indiana, they're allowed to have wind farms because people aren't afraid of them as they are in certain parts of this. They scare us, apparently. But anyway, so yeah, okay. So farming, got some wind power there. Sherry, what's another major feature of this town?
I think that it prides itself because it was part of the Underground Railroad. Though none of the families that were here when that was going on still are there. Excuse the cat. She's upset because I'm talking. The other thing is that there's probably a lot of caves. It's like a cave system, and there's a tourist place where you can go down to the caves.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking, is something like that, because that's actually pretty common.
All right. So it's like on that where people do tours of the major caves of the area. This is one of those destinations on that. Okay. And what's the worst thing in town, Kurt?
Oh man. From my perspective or from everyone's perspective?
Let's say everyone's perspective. What's the thing that people go ugh about?
Okay. There is a building that is in complete disrepair, but they can't tear it down because it is culturally significant, because the person who ran the Underground Railroad lived there. But it is this huge building right in the center of downtown. It's like in the middle of Main Street, and it's falling apart. And there's like every 10 years, someone does a campaign to raise money for it, and no one donates. And it's just a blight on the whole town.
I like that. Where all around they're building up. They're making more upscale cafes and restaurants downtown. But the block that surrounds this sort of blighted building is like the epicenter of that. Okay. Anybody have a good name for our town?
How about, let's see here. How about something like Oak Creek?
Oak Creek. I can't.
Her life is very horrible.
Hey, life is horrible. On Sunday, one of the cats got up by the microphone and was purring loud enough that I had to turn my headphones down. So, all right. So we got Oak Creek. Now let's consider with Oak Creek, what is this high school like? What is it? Is it a newer, fancier high school? Is it the only high school? Is there a rival high school? Agatha, tell me something about this high school.
Oh, the power. Let me just double check what class everyone is in, because I'm middle class. Cammy's upper middle. Okay, I see. Buck and Allison don't have it yet. Are we a private school? Do we want to say we're a private school, y'all? Or no?
What do you think?
I saw a thumbs up from Sherry.
I don't have any problem with that.
Asher, Kurt, you feel strongly either way?
No, I'm fine with the private school. I picked lower class. Probably just like having trouble support on a single income kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be like a charter school, right? Like something in between.
Okay.
I'm okay with private school. I could be there on a scholarship or something.
But we could have it tied into your father, that your father had, your missing father had some connections here at school, and you're on some sort of alumni thing.
I like that. I got the alumni scholarship because Dad went here.
Yeah, that's another reason if people find out about that they might consider you outsider. All right, I can't. All right, so we've got a private school. All right, Asher, tell me something else about this private school.
I think there's like a burger stand at the school.
Oh, okay.
Right, to try to give students like work experience, so you have a bunch of students working at a little burger stand.
So they've got almost like a kind of because they would have the home economics, or even the business class. They've got this built-in burger stand in the center of it that they have built in there. I like that. That maybe it's, we've got the regular cafeteria, but then we've got this burger stand, and maybe that kind of defines some class things about who eats at the burger stand regularly or not. Okay, I like that. And that's another club then, Burger Club. So there we go. Sherry, tell me something else about this high school.
I think it was set up in the, let's see, probably in the 1960s. And it's sort of a, the thing is that it's not a religious high school. It's a philosophical high school. I'm sorry, the cat is paying. It's and essentially, so there's actually a big farm area and stuff around it, and it's a whole idea about that working the land and all of those things is an important idea and makes you a better human being. And there's this weird reading list that we all have to read that's like Zen and the Art of the Motorcycle maintenance and stuff like that. It's but it's a school that does really well academically.
So do you imagine that the kids still have to go out and detassel the corn or whatever?
Yes.
Okay. let me ask you this then to follow up. Do they have animals then?
Yes.
Okay. So they do have an animal husbandry section as well. It's probably a school that does very well in the local 4-H competitions and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I should probably be in that club. So
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Kurt, tell me something else about this club.
About which club? About my club?
The school. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, the school. Okay, so we know that there is a burger stand that we are a philosophical. I don't know what Walden is. That we are a philosophical school, and what was the other detail that we learned?
We it's private school, burger stand, philosophical. We know there's a farm around it. We know that they have animals.
Oh, okay. So the school had some trouble about 20 years ago when an entire class how dark? Anime. Stick to anime. When an entire class you know what? They walked out because of like a social issue.
Okay.
Like maybe I don't know. Some section of the population wasn't being given the same rights, and so the whole they lost a whole semester.
Oh wow. Yeah, like it was a big tussle between the students. They had kind of organized and they really did fight with the administration.
Yeah, and so it's like this pain point for the school, but also a point of pride for some of the students and faculty that maybe attended during that.
And that may mean that the staff are maybe a little high strung and nervous about seeing that kind of thing, and maybe try to quash that when it pops up.
Yeah.
Agatha, what is the school's mascot?
Oh. Well, I was actually going to be like, oh, can it be like the walkout was about a statue about one of the founders who, it's like, oh, like they were a slave owner or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. What is our mascot? I think it's a thrush.
A thrush.
Yep. So we're a bird.
Do you imagine
very fitting?
Do they have it as is it a fancy, sleek sort of graphic design bird, or is it a more, crazy cartoon bird thrush?
I think there are like two versions of it. Yeah. There's definitely the one on the brochures that like are given out to, like parents and stuff and at other schools. But then like at our school, there's like the one that's like, huh?
I like that. Asher, what is a tradition at this school?
A tradition at the school. I think it's like all the new students are inducted into this like corn culture, right? So they all have to like shuck corn or something, or like farming culture.
There's a whole children of the corn thing. I like that there going on. I can dig that. Sherry, what is the rival school?
Let's see here. Well, I think that there's two that you could consider rivals. There's St. Patrick's, and they consider themselves our academic rivals. But for sports teams, it's probably let's see here. Red Oak Township schools.
Okay.
So Red Oak.
Okay. And last question I'm going to ask on this particular line, and then we're going to talk a little bit about relationships. Kurt, what are the school colors?
Okay. Let's see. We're a thrush. What does a thrush have colors? Is it? I don't know.
There are lots of them. They're kind of like finches almost.
Oh, okay. So there's a bunch of different kinds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know. So it's like a burgundy color and white stripes, but the whites have these like brown polka dots in them. So it's red, white, and brown are our colors. Very festive.
And I assume the school has a uniform.
Yeah, it's got a. I mean, we're a private school, so I think. Let's see. It's definitely those stupid sweater vests with the little tie. And then you know what? That's what the fight was about. It was to get rid of the skirts.
Okay.
So everybody has pants.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit about relationships. What we're going to do is, in a second, we're going to take our 5-minute break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you to define one relationship. The rest you can define on the fly, and this can be with a friend, with an adult, however you want to do that. I'll come back and I'll hit you on that. And then once we get that set, then I'm going to roll into this little scenario that we have. Any questions about that?
Could we make Agatha's suggestion that the high school be the Henry D. Thoreau Collegiate
Sure.
Academy?
Henry D. Thoreau
Institute, that's even better. It sounds like we're being studied.
I like it.
And I have a question. All of the relationships are NPCs, right? They're not the other players?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we'll take 5 and we'll come back and then we'll look at the relationships.
Okay, I've done some Wikipedia research on Walden.
Oh, the things that RPGs drive us to.
Is it modern day? Like, do we have smartphones?
Yes. We'll give Agatha and Sherry a minute. Sometimes Sherry is there and she forgets to turn on her stuff.
Are we gonna?
Kurt, you were saying?
Are we gonna explain sort of the pieces of relationships and what they mean, like the difference between love, like, hate, and that kind of stuff, or is that? Should I go dig through the book real fast?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that. So, for that, the love like is more of a color thing for how you define it and how you want to kind of lean into those things. The one that actually has a mechanical difference is the hate, because if you take a hate with someone that impacts your throwdown, it creates an obstacle for you, but you also get extra points to spend on elsewhere on relationships if you take a hate with someone. So let me come through and start with you, Kennedy. Who is one person that you would mark down as you're imagining for your character as a relationship? A friend, a sibling, an adult, a parent. Who would you imagine that would be an important relationship you want to throw some points into and have recorded?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure where to put. Oh, relationships. Oh, it's right there. I was just not looking. Yeah, I'm gonna put my dad.
Okay.
His name is Deshaun Williams.
Okay.
And that is a love.
And what does your dad do?
He's I put a home inspector at first, but
Okay.
since we're like I think maybe more like a land surveyor.
Okay. I like that. So probably knows about where places are, has a sense of the layout of the town, that kind of thing, has access in that way. Maybe even used to get into certain places. That sounds reasonable to me. Does your mom work?
I don't. I only live with my dad.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. I forgot. Okay, and then you can put you put some points into it, and that forms a pool that you can spend, and you can assign those as you wish, and you can come up with other relationships as we go along. Asher, if you had to put down one relationship that you want to have, explicit at the start, who would that be, and what's a relationship?
I was thinking like a volunteer for or a volunteer coordinator for like an anime convention.
Okay, I like that. So do you want to put down like a first name for them?
Ray.
Okay. So you've got Ray. Is that a male or female, or non-binary?
Male.
Okay. And like, what's been your role with this convention? Is this someone you know that has this enthusiasm that pulls you along, or do you think are you into this whole thing? What's that like?
I think it's more brought me to other things, right? So like maybe I volunteered there once and then got involved with other things, like volunteering around the city, and that got me more into helping out and joining student council. So
I like it. So now we've established that there is a multi-year lasting anime convention in the town as well. That seems like a reasonable hook there. Yeah, so you can put Ray's name down, and then right under deets, write sort of generally what they're about. So next we come to Sherry for Allison Subject. Subject.
Yeah, because I had to have a name that like there would be no doubt that she was actually related to my mom, right?
Okay, absolutely.
Right. So it's can't be named Miller because then they wouldn't be sure. Okay, so I think that one of my relationships at the school is Mr. Darden. He's like, we've known him forever because as long as my mom has worked here, whenever we had to go to school and like wait around, it was Mr. Darden who we would kind of get stuck with. He would just he has a job where he pretty much goes around the school and checks that everything's okay. And he ends up with like a little trail of the kids that the teachers need someone to keep an eye on following around with them. So it's like before she even went to high school, she knew the high school really well just because of, being stuck there and going around with him and feeding the animals and, opening up all the doors, seeing the big boiler system, all that kind of stuff, so.
Awesome. I like that. That's a good relationship and fits with your background. Buck, what about you?
So we're going to go with Jenny Daniels, the editor of the school paper. And I am in love, or it is a love, depending on how that actually how that works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many points I'm going to put in that. Probably like 6.
Okay.
And then I figured I should come up with the name of the school paper.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And we're surrounded by cornfields, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of want it to be, what's the name of the school? The Henry
D. Thoreau Institute.
Collegiate Institute. Let's call it, oh man, I want to call it like the Walden Husk.
Okay.
like corn husk. But what's the name of the town again? I forgot.
It is Oak Creek.
Yeah.
I think Walden Husk is perfect.
Yeah, let's call Walden Husk.
I like that, and I imagine that they've got like a goldenrod tinted paper that they use for it. All right. That gives us that relationship. Okay, I've asked a bunch of questions. I've got one last question I'm going to ask each of you, and then we're going to roll into this situation. Let me ask you this, Kennedy. How is it that you know Cammy? What's your connection relationship to Cammy? I mean, we're assuming you're all friends or acquaintances of that kind. You do know each other, and you at least reasonably like each other.
I think I'm not sure. How do you think we know each other, Cammy?
Well, you're all into sports, so maybe you're like my liaison for that. Like, I'll just go to you to ask what's going on in sports.
Wait. No, I don't do.
No,
Oh
she's
no.
she is the ghost hunting club.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
I'm the weird chick.
So maybe we're in the club together. That makes sense.
Oh, I know. We must do like because I mean, are you a part of the anime club? Sorry, I wasn't.
I was involved in like the anime expo, anime cons. Maybe you have
Okay.
like a
Okay, you're into anime. We do like I think we end up doing a lot of anime themed events because so like we do like the summer like like it's like the Japanese thing where you're like kids go and they test their courage, just like the test of courage. But it's like where it's like a haunted house except not, because you're just like walking through, I guess in this case, cornfields and corn mazes, and then it's like people go and scare you, and this is like kind of like a fun thing that we do. We host, and maybe we like partner together for that.
You like that, Cammy?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. I like that, and certainly we have those haunted house things. Absolutely. Let me ask you then, Cammy, how is it that you know our sports star, Allison Sobchak? How do you two? Why are you at all know each other?
I guess, like I said, I don't really involve myself in sports, so I'll defer to them.
Okay. That somehow you connected with them, and Allison has been willing to help you with that. Allison, does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, sure. I am the one that the coaches can count on to go and take their paperwork to wherever it needs to go, which sometimes is the student council. So I have no doubt that I see you fairly regularly as we bring in our reports for when the games are, when the fundraising is going on, all of those things. So,
All right. I like that. And then sticking with you then, Allison, how is it that you know Buck?
Buck, do you think that you would be taking Latin Club?
Ooh, I had a different idea, but I like Latin Club. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Okay, I say Latin Club.
Yeah.
Is that a like a small class club, or is it large?
I think that they very carefully make it seem like it's a small club, like it's a small class, but there's actually one going on every hour. But they keep, like, if you start in freshman year with it, they keep you with the same people the whole 4 years. So it's meant to be kind of a very like little clique thing in some ways.
Like there's some teacher who really loves Latin.
Yeah, and really likes being a cult personality in some ways.
Yes. Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So
Cult
Absolutely.
personality.
yeah, exactly.
All right. And then Buck, how do you know our Kennedy?
Okay, so Kennedy, Agatha, you're Kennedy, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And Ken. Well, did your ghost? Did the Ghost Club come to investigate the rumor about my mom?
Ooh.
Okay.
When they came to
I
investigate,
guess we did.
how direct were they in asking about that?
You tell me, Kennedy.
Agatha?
I think we were pretty. At least I think Kennedy is pretty upfront about it. She's not rude about it, but she's like, "Oh, like I heard rumors that you're a witch. Is this true? Can I like find out some secrets? If you don't mind." Maybe it is rude, but
And maybe only realize afterwards that it was a little awkward.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you tell me that's why you were coming over?
Oh, did I go with you?
No, I guess you mean when you came to ask him about those questions. Had you prepped him that you were going to be asking about his potential as a witch in that sort of first meeting, or
like did I conspire to get you in the room with my mom, or was it like a shock to me too?
I feel like our club is pretty infamous just because we're like such weirdos, even within like Henry D. Thoreau Collegiate Institute. We're like pretty weird, so I feel like we have a reputation. I don't know if you were a willing conspirator, but I think you definitely knew.
Maybe it was like, now's my chance. Like, if you guys say she's not a witch, then nobody else is gonna buy it, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, well, now I get to prove it. And maybe it was inconclusive.
It definitely was.
Yeah. Now
I think
I'm
your
a
mom
little
is-
concerned.
okay,
Yeah,
like your mom's a little spooky. Okay.
I think your mom was like definitely evasive in some way.
And you still the question of the missing father. Anyway, so we're going to take up. I'm going to hard frame us into a situation. It's a little case. This is a chance for us to play out, see how the mechanics work, solve a mystery that's on the table, and do it in a tight amount of time. So you four are amongst a group of students who are in on a weekend. You're in here on a Saturday. Essentially, it's small staff because you are part of the group that has somehow been roped into or volunteered to help with decorations for prom. So we've got that going on, and somehow you've gotten roped in. And it's a decent sized school we've established. We know that there's a farmland nearby. We know we've got the cows. We've got a couple of levels, nice gym that's being, that's sort of the primary place where we're at right now. At the pass through on the building, we've got offices, classrooms, probably a couple of levels there. Probably goes back to like some of the home ec, and no longer like shop, but now like a maker club kind of thing where they have 3D printers and that kind of stuff. That's sort of a more high end thing. And right now you are preparing this themed prom stuff, and it is myths. It is myths and Greek stuff and all of that. And it is very unpleasantly Percy Jackson-esque. It's like all they had to go with was Percy Jackson and maybe God of War. And so they've got, all the kinds of sort of Greco-Roman hangings on the wall. They've got 3D printed heads. They've got, little fake plaster pillars and so on. So it is very much of that. And besides you four who know each other and are kind of working together, there are 4 other students who are here. And now I'm going to tell you who they are and what you kind of know about them. One of them is, I would say, the popular girl, very much the sort of star of the show character, Amy Foley. Amy's parents are very well off, and she sort of kind of has a real control over things. Her boyfriend is Simon Dobslaw, who is there, who is a soccer player. He is the kid with the golden leg. He mostly lifts things, is his primary thing around here. Whereas Amy Foley is kind of in charge of decorations and actually saying where things are going. Simon is moving things around. Then you have Charlie, who calls himself Charles Galen. Charles is the like blogger, social poster, social media gadfly. He actually has a following. He has a YouTube channel. He's well regarded in that, and he's actually done pretty well for himself. So he is known outside the area. Instagram and all of that stuff. And then last but not least, you have Kathy Cho. And Kathy is, what is the best way to put this, is our character who is, I get how they describe it here, quiet, reliable, hardworking. She gets along with everybody. Her family is tied in with the organic farms. So they run some of the high-end production of things and are well known on that. She's a vegan, though she's been seen at the burger place more than once. And she's the one who is the yearbook photographer. So those are our 4 characters that are on stage here along with you. And where we actually start is our inciting incident. As you're working on this, as you're putting things together, getting stuff set up. I imagine it doesn't seem like any of you are like super into this kind of thing. So you've been roped in various ways. You will see Mrs. Dean come storming into the gymnasium. And, she's the only one who's here besides you kids. Essentially, otherwise the place is locked down. She comes in and she looks furious. She is a hardcore vice principal. And rumor has it that she is next in line for a superintendent job, which will be a relief to everyone here at the school. And she looks around and she says, all right, who did it? No one's going to speak up. The other 4 are all kind of standing there, sort of like holding things, putting them down, not knowing what's going on. And she looks around, looks at each of you in turn, and she says, all right, which one of you sabotaged my office? And she will say, all of you come with me. And she will make all of you fall in line behind her. She is furious. Like, she's angry. Full tilt. And she will walk you up. You have to go up, out, and essentially towards the middle of the main hall, down to where the offices are. And you walk in there, and she'll open up her door, and her office looks fine. And there's that silence of kids, and then you'll hear this chirp, and she clenches her fists. And you see her look around, and she does this. She goes like this. And then you hear another chirp, and you see her rush over to the bookcase, and she begins pulling books off the bookcase. And then you see her kind of start pulling at something, and she pulls this little like quarter-sized object off of the shelf there. It looks like it maybe was like some sort of glue or stuff, and it's making that chirping sound that you get when your fire smoke detector is getting down to the low battery. And she will snap it and kind of pitches it into the garbage can, and she starts to turn around, and you'll hear another chirp from somewhere else in the room. And she goes, that is the 6th one. I need to know who did this. I'm going to. You have 1 hour for one of you to admit to me that you did this. Do we have an understanding?
I mean, I didn't do it, so like it's gonna be one of them, right? I guess.
Someone is going to tell me that they did it in 1 hour, or I am going to cancel prom. And she will kind of storm out clearly to walk the halls a little bit to cool herself down.
I'm going to look at Amy because she's the one that would get the backlash on the prom stuff.
She looks upset by the idea of that, and looks to you like she is looking at Simon, maybe trying to figure out, what we're going to do. Do you want to spend let me see what's an appropriate social spend for this. Do you have gossip?
Yes.
Do you want to make a gossip spend?
Well, okay, sure. Sure, I'll make a gossip spend.
Okay.
All right. So now I get my awesome gossip.
So you're watching her, and you can see that Amy is upset, and you see that Simon is upset. Maybe a little bit less than you would expect, which kind of confirms you had heard something about they're usually a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Amy and Simon are, the hot couple at the school. But you also heard that rumor that you weren't sure about, that they weren't going to prom together.
Interesting.
Kennedy, and this is how it's going to move, is I'm going to kind of move around and check in with people, and we kind of see what questions you want to ask, the place you want to go to, what skill you want to kind of lean into, and we'll try and deliver facts in that way here. So let me come back to you, Kennedy. You see the others, the other four and your companions are people are moving out into the halls and trying to figure out, who should get blamed. There's a little paranoia among them. What are you up to, Kennedy?
I'm gonna be like, hey, Charlie, come here.
And Charles will walk over to where you're at. What?
Yo, so you gotta help me though. Who do you think it is?
He said it, like simultaneously with what you said. He's like, I don't know. I don't know who did it.
Okay, but you're like good with tech, right? We gotta investigate this.
Wait, what are you saying?
I'm not accusing you.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying you should help me.
How do I know you didn't do it?
Listen, Charlie, you've been a part of the Ghost Facers and not showing up to any club activities. I can't have you do this, okay? Use that camera of yours for something other than neck decoration.
Oh, that is harsh.
I mean, you look good, okay? I'm just saying. Like, you gotta help me, okay?
So what do you think this is? Do you think this is you leaning into negotiation or reassurance? Which one do you think?
I'm negotiating.
He will kind of go over and look in the garbage can and kind of looks at the devices, and he'll come back to where you're at, and he says, it's got those burrs on the side of it, like little plastic burrs.
What do you mean?
It's a 3D printer thing. Somebody did like this little 3D printer chip and then put some stuff on it.
Oh, 3D printers. Okay.
Let's come to you then, Cami. What's your approach? Looking around the area, talking to people, going somewhere else to check things out. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is check the window, right? Make sure no one climbed in here, and then it was none of us.
And you have notice, right?
I have one notice.
That's all you need. And
Okay.
here's where it is one dot of a thing is enough to get the basics. Sometimes I'll ask you for a spend to get like additional info. But you can check this out. Yeah, these windows are locked. And you know that to get in here, they actually kind of locked down the outside doors to get in. So anybody that nobody could get in, people could get out, but they couldn't get in. The only door that's sort of in and out is in the gymnasium where you guys were at. So if it had been anybody else, you would have seen them. They would have come through.
Okay, so our story does make sense.
Yeah. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So let's come to you, Buck. What's your approach now?
Look, Kennedy, I don't know a lot about. I'm assuming we can kind of hear the conversations that are happening in this room. We're all standing in a small room. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know a lot about tech stuff, but do we want to go check the 3D printer? There's probably like a log or something.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Yo,
Okay.
Cammy, aren't you like good at tech stuff?
Yeah, I'm happy to help out.
So the three of you want to head off to go in to check that out then?
So is there any way to tell if anyone got nervous when I said that there's a log on the 3D printer?
Oh, interesting. Let's see what the
I don't have notice.
Yeah.
I
I
do.
don't know what that would be.
Let's think about that. So but
No,
you
I don't actually. Just kidding.
You do have BS detector, right?
Yeah, I have BS detector. 4 points.
Why don't you give me a BS detector spend?
Okay, so I just lower that by 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
You definitely will see that of the 4 besides your crew that are there, the one person who is like saying no and maybe hesitates during that bit, what's going on, is Chow. It's Chow rather.
Kathy. All right.
Yeah, she looks and then you see her, and then goes back to usual state of things.
That figures. I knew she was a cheat.
And
keep an eye on her.
Okay. Let's swing back to you, and it's going to take me a while to get names right. To you, Allison.
Sure. Here's the thing is 2 of them gone off. I think the first thing I'm going to do is actually look around the office to see if there's any more set to go. So I'll do the things where if I was going to hide something, so I'll like look under the trash can, look under the desk, those kinds of things. See if I see any that are going to be set to go.
All right. So you will take a look around.
Mm-hmm.
You will find a few of them in the usual spots. Like quick, they have like a little bit of adhesive on the back of them, and they got it jammed on. So it takes a fingernail to pop them off of there. But then you will actually hear a muffled chirp coming from a locked file cabinet.
Oh. Okay. And I kind of walk over to it and I look at the other thing and I kind of take the handle and I kind of jiggle it and I'm like, damn it, there's one in there. Who can get in there?
Do you have repair?
Yeah, I do. Sure. Here we
All
go.
right.
I'll spend my
have you
2.
do your repair spend, and then I'm going to cut to the others going down to check out the 3D printer. Does that seem good?
Sure. So this is a general, so I actually have to roll, right?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, repair. Yes, you do. Yeah.
Okay. So this is where you see all the hopes and dreams crushed.
Okay.
So as soon as I can find our awesome roll for your party. I have too many links. Sorry. Go. There we go. Got it. Okay. So I'm going to do, I only need 1, and I'll make it green. And okay. So I'm going to roll it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to roll it. Okay, I gotta highlight it. If only I knew how to do these things. Okay.
Sometimes your party is a wicked mistress.
Yeah, it's like going, no, you've got to do a thing to get it. Okay, there it is. Oh, I got a 6. Oh, wonderful.
Got it?
Yep.
You will look at it, and you realize that this is obviously a cabinet that the dean probably only has the key to. But as you kind of look at it, you will see that there are bits of plastic in the lock, like in the little place where the key would be. You can see that there's like some plastic in there.
Oh, hey, someone broke into here.
Let me cut away from you. So was it just Kennedy and Cammy that were going down to see the printer? Or was it Kennedy, Cammy, and Buck?
I'm
It's
gonna
the
go
3 of
too. Yeah.
us.
Okay. So you'll walk down the hall. Essentially, the classrooms are all closed and locked up. And then you'll have to walk sort of down stairs. Essentially, you have to break off whether you would go to another set of classrooms or whether you would continue on straight to the cafeteria and then out back. But you go down into the makerspace area, and you want to take a look around there. What is it that you want to do here?
I think we're gonna check the log, right? The print log. Because I assume you have to like sign in into whatever computer connects to it. And like you have to sign in with your own student account or teacher account or whatever, and there should be something that we could pull up that shows like print history.
That makes sense to me. Let's see here. I think that this actually might be a general role to kind of get these up and get access, and then we'll have an investigation spend. So who wants to make the computers roll?
I can do it unless you want to do it, Cammy.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay. So Cammy, how much do you want to spend? I'm going to say this is difficulty 4, so 50-50 right now.
So I'll spend 2.
Okay, that sounds good.
So
And then
4
just roll a
left.
d6 and add 2.
All right. I got a 2, so it's a 4.
That becomes 4. So that will definitely work here.
Sweet.
So you will find here that like there's a basic log that you're able to find that all of the students, Sam, Amy, Kathy, Ruby, have all been in and out during the week. Because as I mentioned before, there's been a lot of 3D printing for the busts and things like that. But who wants to make a spend of, let me see what the appropriate one here is there. Either notice or photography.
I can do photography.
Okay. Give me a spend on that.
All right, I will spend a point.
So imagine that you're pulling up the logs, and this is a big machine that's used by a lot of kids. You're seeing their names pop up, but you're also pulling up the images, and you're checking the trash. You know you've got that, and you will find a few items back in the memory here there is a pattern for a key. And it definitely looks like there's a little 3D printer thing there. And you can cross-reference it with a log, and it is definitely Kathy.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to be the yearbook photographer next year.
So what would the three of you do then?
Yo, Buck, you wanted to be the yearbook photographer?
Yeah, I did. And I think it's going to be pretty easy because they're not going to have one soon. Where did Miss What's-Her-Face go?
You mean Kathy?
No, Miss Dean. We can't just walk up to Kathy. We got to, I don't know. Do you want... Wait, do we need to tell Kathy that we know?
I don't really want to be a snitch.
Oh, crap.
Let's go talk to Kathy.
All right.
She doesn't really seem like the kind of person who would just prank Ms. Dean. I don't know.
I mean, is she the kind of person that would just prank Miss Dean? Like, from what we know about her?
Let's see. You've got... you guys have a pretty good gossip between you all, and you've had a chance to interact with her. So, not really. I mean, she's a hard worker. Her family's pretty serious. Obviously I mentioned before that she kind of maybe breaks down from her veganhood from time to time, but she's still pretty on it. She's here working on a Saturday, going back and forth, moving stuff around. So it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like a prank. You know what I mean?
I don't know, Kennedy. I mean, you don't seem like the one to shy away from conflict, though.
Yeah, I'll go talk to her. I just
Yeah.
don't want to snitch before I find out what's happening.
All right. We should try to get her away from the others too, so they don't know that we know.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's do that.
So are you going along with that plan then, Cammie?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we just have to find her.
All right.
Can we also grab Allison just so we can all travel together?
Allison, are you okay with being kind of grabbed up by the posse?
Sure.
Okay. So they will come in. The others have kind of headed down to the gym, the other four, because that's where their stuff's at. And, they're all like looking at each other suspiciously and maybe getting a little paranoid here. And maybe there's she can't really cancel prom. She can't. And it's like, that's not possible. Prom is part of high school. It's just like they have to give us a summer break. So they have to give us prom. That's the law. That's how it works. And the others maybe look a little less certain of whether that is in fact the legal statute that applies here. So the four of you will arrive there. Let me check in. Cammie and Allison. You haven't heard from you two recently, so Cammie, let's start with you. What do you want to do? And I'll come to Allison.
What do I want to do?
Yeah.
Is it just this mystery we're trying to solve then, or?
Yeah. Well, you're trying to solve the mystery, but obviously some fallout. I mean, you need to figure out how you want to, prove it, get a confession, accused. There are a couple of levels here.
Well, Kathy always has this camera, so I think I'm going to try to steal that because I feel like that'll have evidence.
Okay. So you're going to move over to where Kathy's at. We'll assume that her camera or her phone is nearby, and you want to try to filch that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Filch it.
okay. So I've actually got a difficulty level for that. My thing. It's actually in the notes here.
Means it's a good thing to do.
Yeah. So the difficulty is going to be 4 on filch to get it away from her without her noticing.
Okay, so I'll use my 2 points again.
Okay, spend 2 points. Mark that off that pool, and roll.
All my points. And I got a 6.
Look at you. So tell me what that looks like. What do we see, on the TV screen here?
I
I'm
think
trying to figure
instead,
out how your nerd self does this. That's what I'm
I think instead of taking the whole camera, I'll just take the SD card so the camera is still there, right? And then she won't notice until she turns it on and like tries to take a picture.
okay. So we see you kind of pop that, do that little click and pocket that incredibly subtly. Probably no one else sees this. All right. We only see it because the camera zooms in for a moment to give us the shot at home. Let me ask you, Allison, what you're doing. We've got these 4 here. The others have informed you about their suspicions. And what do you want to do?
I think I'll stop and go, well, it just occurs to me, we're doing like Greek myths, right? It would look really great? Grapevines. And you know who has a whole bunch of grapevines? Dr. Radecki. He's a Latin teacher, does a Latin banquet every year, and he has a bunch of plastic grapevines. So we should go get those. And I sort of look at it and say, we're going to need a bunch of people to carry them, though. And I'll kind of look at my 3, and I'll go, you guys, and one of you, and then I'll sort of look at Kathy.
Okay. So this is you essentially trying to draw her in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do we think is the appropriate skill for that? What do you have ability-wise that you're using, you think?
Well, I could use either reassurance or I can use intimidation if I think I need to strong arm her. So it'd probably just be a really quick look to see how she's standing on that suggestion.
Let's have you do that reassurance spend.
Okay, I will do that.
And I think that because nobody here has accused her yet, no one has eyed her suspiciously. She's seen some other suspicions go around. Plus, there's safety in numbers for her. There being 5 of you. So yeah, she will come with you, assuming that the group wants to go and go to Radecki's office to get some of the grapevines.
Mm-hmm.
So she's quiet as she usually is. She walks along and she doesn't say anything like accusingly. Doesn't try to push blame on you. So let's come back to Buck and Kennedy. Dragged Kathy off from the others. You've got her isolated. What do you want to do?
Yo, Kathy. Like, why did you 3D print the key?
What are you talking about?
To Ms. Dean's cabinets.
She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's kind of a bit of a facade here.
Come on, Kathy, cut the crap. Like,
yo, Buck, chill. Wait, actually, Buck, like, show her the picture you took of the log on your phone.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'll bring it up and show her and be like, look, I know we don't like get along or anything, but you don't seem like the type, and your name's all over this print.
All right. So this is a throwdown.
Ooh.
This is a throwdown. So we're going to walk through this procedure. There's some steps to it, so it'll take a bit for us to walk through it. But this is kind of a social combat thing. You're trying to break her cool to get her to admit to this. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick someone as the lead who is doing the push on this, who's going to be doing the main spend on that, and then others can help out. What do you think? Who's got this?
I can do it. Oh, go ahead. You can do it.
No, I was just saying I can support. I've got intimidation and all the other stuff.
All right, so Agatha, we look at this right now. Your difficulty to hit her is let me check that on the little sheet here. I think it's just difficulty 3, but let me make sure. Yeah, she's just got a difficulty of 3 for you to hit her. Okay, and what we're going to be doing is you're going to be saying how much of your throwdown you want to spend on this, but you can also do other things to assist. Other people can pitch in, essentially spend their points in throwdown to assist. You can also spend relationship points if you have an appropriate relationship that you think could bring pressure on her. And you can also spend from an applicable interpersonal skill. Like you could spend 1 point from one of your interpersonal skills to give you a +2 on the die roll.
Okay. And I'm rolling just 1d6, right?
Roll 1d6.
Okay, and it's 3. Oh, I think I'll just spend 2. I'll spend 2 cool.
Okay, so you'll spend two off your throwdown is what you'll spend it on, actually.
Oh, off my throwdown. Yeah, I'll do that.
So you spend 2. Do you want to do anything like interpersonal, or do you want to have a relationship that might fit with you pushing on this?
I think I want to reassure her, unless
Okay.
someone else wants to do something as well. But
Do you have and what's your reassurance?
my reassurance is 2.
Okay. So if you spend 1 from that,
Yeah.
that'll give you another +2. So right now you're going to be rolling a die +4 against her roll, because she's going to make a roll against you with her spend.
Okay. Cool.
Now I heard that Buck, you wanted to help out.
Yeah, I can pitch in. So what were the point values of the different types of things we can spend? Like I can just kick in throwdown, or I can lean on my relationship at the newspaper and see if I can like have some leverage there.
Yeah. So relationship would be 1 for 1.
Okay.
An interpersonal spend, you could do 1 of those to get a +2, and you could do your throwdown.
I'm gonna save the editor of the newspaper. I'm gonna go throwdown. So I'll kick in a throwdown. And I'll give 1 throwdown.
Okay. So we're rolling +5. Anybody else want to assist?
I feel like we could.
Okay.
For a difficulty of 3? Yeah.
Well, no. So the standard difficulty is 3. She's going to be rolling.
Adding 3.
Well, we're going to be comparing those.
Yeah, she rolls a die. So if she gets a higher die and has more bonuses or whatever.
So you roll a die. I'm going to do my spend, and you roll a d6 +5.
Okay. I'm gonna re-roll this one that's right here. The like yellow one ?
Yeah. The pale yellow one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a 3. 3 plus 5 is 8.
That's an 8. I got a 3 on my total roll there. And so I need you to roll a d6. And that's how much cool damage you're going to do. So what did you get?
Oh wait, I'm re-rolling the d6
so you roll a d6, so you beat her.
Oh, okay.
And now you deal damage.
Oh,
yes, I know.
Okay, I'm re-rolling.
Welcome to the trad section of the game.
Deal social damage. I re-rolled the khaki d6 and it still showed 3. I'm not really sure if it re-rolled or not. I feel like sometimes roll for your party is kind of weird, but yeah,
so,
3.
We'll see that she kind of steps back from that. It looks like she's still arguing with you, but you can see her starting to crack there. Um, she is shook. She is a little shook. So we would do another round of this. Someone else can take the lead, or you can continue to press the lead, because it takes a bit to kind of wear your foe down to get them to admit this, because they don't want to.
I can push on her a little bit.
Okay. So you want to take the lead? How much do you want to spend?
So I'm gonna drop. Let's see. I've got 5 throwdown.
Okay.
So, but I've also got BS detector. So
okay.
Can I spend 1 BS detector to kind of like tell if she's lying to me?
So that'd be a 2 plus 2 from that.
So I'll
and then
spend.
How much throwdown?
Oops, shoot. And then I'll spend 3 throwdown.
Okay.
Whoops. Dang it. Okay. And then I have 2 throwdown left.
Is anybody assisting?
Sure. By this point, she probably would notice that I was standing there between her and an exit from us.
Okay. So you want to make an intimidation spend?
Yeah. So
Okay.
give him another 2.
Okay. So you're rolling and adding 3, 4, 5, 7.
Oh boy. All right. Let's do D6 with pips, and let's make it red. And we'll submit. So 2. So 9.
That's a 9. So that she tries to put up a brave face on this last bit, but she cracks. Like at the end of that, you see, and she's like, "What do you guys want? What do you guys want?"
Look, all I want to know is, did you do it? Like, why? Why?
Did someone put you up to it? It's okay, Kathy. We're coming to you first, you know?
Yeah, like we didn't call you out or go get Miss Bergen.
Dean.
What was Dean? Why?
She looks around and she says, "Last year, my dad ran for office. I don't know if you know, he was running and he dropped out like partway through the campaign. I had a meeting with Miss Dean like a while before that, like a counselor meeting, like you're supposed to, like she's supposed to be like a psychologist, right? Like you're supposed to tell you things, she doesn't repeat them. And I was complaining about my dad taking a lot of pain pills. And her friend is the person who's running against my dad. And so she used that info and she kind of forced my dad to quit the race.
Yeah. She's not a psychologist, so there's no like client privilege. She's just like a school counselor.
You know, you're not supposed to do that. Why would you do that to a kid?
Yeah, okay. Look. Damn it. Fine. Okay. I want to hate you. Like I really, really want to hate you. But our backstories are really linked and similar, and I just listen. What, how many more are there? Do you know where they all are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does this even matter? I don't really none of us are attending prom, and we were all forced to do it.
I wasn't gonna go to prom either.
I'm a sophomore. I don't no one invited me to prom. I don't actually know a lot about prom. I've never been.
Juniors would ask vulnerable sophomores to prom. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Amy didn't seem. Amy? That was her name, right? Amy didn't seem super upset about prom not being a thing. I feel like maybe we should just leave it. Let Miss Dean suffer through some more chirps.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But look, I want in on the yearbook.
Wait, what? She says? Kathy says what?
I want in on the yearbook. Like, I mean, I do the photography for the paper. I don't understand why they didn't have me do the yearbook.
Oh my gosh, Buck, why are you so extra?
Are you blackmailing me?
No, he's
No,
not.
I'm not blackmailing you. I mean, I want to be on the team. Like, I want to, like, I'm not going to kick you out.
He just wants to be your friend. Don't worry, Kathy.
Let me while she's chewing on that. What's your reaction to this whole exchange there, Allison?
I'm trying to think what we need to do in the sense of how do we make sure that it's a living hell for Mrs. Dean, but make it so that the prom isn't held for hostage.
How would you do that? Right? I mean, she's pissed. She's going to be back here in about 15 minutes, and if she doesn't have someone to go for, to blame, to put a punishment on, she's gonna come down hard.
Allison, your mom works here. Does anyone on the staff hate Miss Dean?
And she sort of stops and goes, oh, well, the usual 33% at least, but that's neither here nor there. All we have to do is create plausible deniability.
Let's just frame a staff member.
What?
She goes,
Yeah, I mean, we have the records. We'll just rename the trash file.
Buck, what?
What?
That doesn't make any sense.
Why? If they already hate her, why just make it a staff member, and then she's not going to cancel prom because it's not their fault.
But I also feel like there's something about this that is really wrong. Like, why would she was the one that blackmailed Kathy's dad, and I feel like she needs to learn that that's not okay, more than just like, oh, jokes, kids are gonna prank you, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, okay, so she's up for like a promotion or whatever, right? What if we make it look like it's her boss, and then she goes and chews out her boss, and then she gets fired?
We'll consider the absurdity of that in a moment.
yeah.
What's your take on this, Cammie?
I think, I'm not really sure what to do.
Yeah, there's a certain paralysis here.
And I think that at this point, Alice is going to step and go, wait. First, what we have to do is make her look like the crazy person she is. The other thing that you have to do is make it clear to Amy that if she doesn't come up with a solution in 15 minutes, that it's going to be a problem, and that her best solution is going to be calling her dad to come down on Mrs. Dean.
Oh, who's Amy's dad?
And she goes, only Mr. Folly. And she goes, he owns like Folly and Farms, it's like half of the county.
Her dad is pretty rich.
I'll go talk to Amy. Maybe Allison should come with me. Stand by another exit. I saw that. It was pretty cool. Kind of scary.
And she kind of goes, sure.
All right, so you two are going to head. So and so the plan is just to get Amy's dad to call and create a problem here.
Yeah, I think to at least to, how should we say, move the deadline off a bit.
What about Cammie, Buck? What are you going to do? Kathy will look at you and go, I can show you where the rest of the chirpers are.
I found like 5 of them. And there's one in her drawer.
I have the key.
Yeah, I think you should get rid of that.
Yeah. Well, we need to
go
get it
ahead.
in the drawer.
Did you find anything interesting in the drawer?
I just put the stuff in there. I didn't have much time. And if you'll go with her, you two, she'll Buck, Cammy, or at least even one of you, she'll take you to her office to go and get rid of those things, to at least maybe mitigate. She's hoping the problem.
Yeah, I'll help with that.
Okay.
I mean, sure. I guess if we don't want to try to blame her boss or whatever, that's fine.
We'll come back to that. We cut to you two at the gym. We see Amy and Simon are having this like slightly raised voice conversation, about this, and he's, well, now, babe, it's just, I mean, your dad's not going to be at the prom, so we just don't go together, and then we go, we just meet up at the prom. And she's like, you don't even understand anything in that way. And she kind of storms off away from Simon. So what do you two want to do?
Okay. I'm a pretty gossipy person.
Okay.
I think like I'm just kind of curious. I want to know what's going on. I like stroll over to Simon. Hey Simon, what's up?
And you've got gossip. What's your gossip rating? You've got
2.
So that's fine. So, and this is one of those cases where I don't even think you need to spend because you've got the leverage here. He's like, oh man, I just don't get women. Talking
to a chick. Don't know how to break it to you.
He goes, yeah, but you're not like, like a chick.
Simon?
What?
Just because you're cute don't mean I'm gonna take this from you. But what's your problem, huh?
No.
Talk to me.
It kind of looks over at you, Alice, because so Amy's dad got wind that we were going out, and he doesn't think that I match up to his high standards collegiately.
Of what?
I don't know. Collegiate means like college. I mean, I'm gonna go to college, so I mean, then that's the thing. But that's like years off, so I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, so he talked to my coach and told my coach, kind of pulled some things there, and my coach said I was off the team if I went with her to the thing. So it's like shitty and everything.
Jeez.
Yeah. He's like he doesn't take shit.
That's really weird. I feel like who does that even?
I know. It's like some Juliet and Romero thing.
Yep. Like that. Simon, do you need a tutor? I can tutor you. I think you need it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, cool. I mean, I feel like you can probably talk to her dad and be like, hey, if I raise my grades to this, can I date your daughter? But also, it's kind of weird.
Raise your grade.
Oof. Summer, you're not dumb. You just don't like school.
No, I like school fine.
You don't like learning.
Huh. Allison, what's your take now on this conversation? It looks like she's dragged some bits out of Simon here.
So Charlie's like standing over here too. He's been witness to all of this.
Oh yeah, he's recording everything.
Okay. I'm like, so I kind of walk up past him. I'm very careful to stay out of his camera lens thing. And I kind of come up and I go, so who is Amy going to prom with according to her dad?
And you have gossip, right?
Yep.
Well, she's just going with her friends because she has to make a show of it. That's how it is. And if you don't go, that would be something.
She's going with me.
Is there stuff? You mean she's going to be like dancing with her chick friends the whole night? Oh my God.
Yes, they're going to make a big thing of it.
Allison, can you not also use the word chick?
But that's what they call it, isn't it?
No, like don't follow Simon's example. It's not great. Simon, don't do that.
It's all of our jock friends refer to it. Oh, okay. Sure. I'm gonna go talk to Amy.
All right. Yeah. Good luck, Simon.
All right, dude. Good talk.
I'm not a dude. I'm not gonna fist bump you.
He puts his hand down. He looks a little sad when he does it.
I feel like he just wants. I'm like gonna lean to Allison. I feel like he just wants to fist bump me because I'm black.
Bravo. So you, Allison, you're gonna lead over to talk to Amy.
Yeah.
And she looks up. She's got that, that sort of mean, angry look in her eyes as you come over, and she says, "What?"
So, do you want this prom to go off?
Well, yeah, it's prom.
Okay. And you got about 15 minutes, and I don't think anyone in here did this.
What do you
So
mean? You think somebody broke in?
I think it was set up a long time ago, and these are just going off on a timer. Or some signal that someone's doing outside.
Like a bomb.
Well, like a bomb, but they're just dumb chirps. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you want to do prom, you're going to have to get someone to talk sense to Mrs. Dean. And she's not going to listen to us.
What are you talking about?
And she goes, I don't know. Talk to your parents?
What kind of spend do you think you want to do here to push her on this? Because she's kind of reluctant to do this.
I think maybe a little, would it be taunt or would it be, and like when I go, well, I mean, if you really want to do this.
You give me a 2-point spent from taunt.
Okay.
And she will pull out her flip phone.
All right. Oh, flip phone.
Oh, yeah. She does this old retro flip phone thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. Retro flip phone.
It's very old school. And she will open it up. And you can see her wrestle with the numbers, like she shouldn't have bought a flip phone because the number pad is too tight for her and stuff. And, she has to do the push through to get the text things.
Oh my gosh. And it like totally, her acrylics totally get in the way.
Yeah.
Amy.
She will head off to go and call her dad. Meanwhile, you two can get to the office here. And she will unlock the file cabinet, and she will get the chirpy there, and she'll point where the other ones are. What do you want to do there, Cammie?
I want to look in the file cabinet because I have a bunch of town lore, so I'm hoping that'll come in handy. I can connect what I know about the town to what's in this file cabinet. Right?
All right. Well, so basic town lore that I'll give you is you'll definitely see, it'll confirm what you've already seen, that her Miss Dean is clearly a supporter of the conservative candidate and kind of pushed out. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, she's a big backer of that, and probably that the person who got in is probably one of the people who has strong influence to get her that promotion up the food chain, as it were. Does that seem like good info there?
Yeah, that's a good place to push.
And what about you, Buck?
Wait, did we just learn that she got that person the job of mayor so that she could get a better job?
Well, at least she got him she certainly has some pull with him now because of that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. How did you find that out?
I'm assuming there's some papers there that
okay. Just digging through the office. Oh yeah, I snapped pictures of all that.
Okay.
I started taking pictures of it and like making notes. And I think I start prepping my expose on how Ms. Dean used her position to steal information from a student and use it for personal gain.
All right.
And
So
also I snag a bunch of those beeper things.
okay, so you will get the beepers. You will get the photos there. Amy is calling her dad, and it's probably about that point that Mrs. Dean comes sweeping back, and she's like, "Everybody in the gym now!" And she marches down there, and goes to talk to you all. I assume you all fall in.
Yes.
And she will say, all right, which one of you did it?
Well, you see, the thing is, Ms. Dean, is none of us did it.
And she's like, if that's the route you're going to go, then
No, I have proof. Do you want me to show you? I can show you, but I don't want to show you in front of them because I don't want to just out somebody in front of other students.
And she will step forward, though, to look at your evidence.
Okay, so I'm going to move forward and I'm going to show her all the stuff I just found. And I'm going to remind her that none of us did it.
Okay.
I'm going to elbow Charlie.
This is a throwdown.
Yeah.
It's a throwdown called expose. Essentially a kind of an accusation here. Now, she is an adult, which means she is much harder to hit. So she's a difficulty 5 to hit. But
man.
You've got other people with you to give you some social leverage there if you want to do this. I'll assume that there's been at least some kind of convo about this. So this is a throwdown check. So how much throwdown do you want to put into this roll?
Well, I only have 2 throwdown left, so I'm going to put 1 in on this one because I'm assuming there's going to be another round.
Okay.
So I'll lower my throwdown to 1. And then I'm gonna use my relationship with Jenny.
Okay. And who is Jenny again?
She is the editor of the school paper.
Okay. How much do you want to spend from that?
I'm going to spend 5. No, I'll spend 3 from that.
Okay. Do you want to do photography spend to give you another +2?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're real good pictures.
So what is that total then that we're looking at?
So we're looking at 6 plus my die.
All right. So let me look at her ratings here.
Actually, can I spend more than one of a same skill? Can I like dump all my photography in this?
No, you can only do one point for +2 off of that.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So let's. Is anyone assisting on this?
Sure. I'll toss in a point of BS detector.
Okay, so that's a +2.
Because I'm a kid of the staff member, so I know all the stories and stuff that go around.
Sure.
So.
And if we go to the second round, you can always spend relationship with your mom to push on that. Anybody else?
I'll add in negotiation.
Okay.
Since I found a bunch of evidence.
Another +2. All right. So let's have you roll a die with what seems to me like a huge number on your part.
+10, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oof.
one of these. Red. I haven't rolled it yet. I don't know if.
Oh no, that was mine. I'm flinching from her roll.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna move these over so that I can see when it comes out.
Sure.
Red 1. There we go. 4. So 14.
14. So they have a thing in a system called like crushing it in here, in which it's if you beat him by a margin, but you also roll a 6. But you beat her by 9.
Okay.
And you see her look at you, and she will say, I'll take that SD card as proof that apparently someone broke in and put those things in.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And she will...
and just so you know, the student body is watching, Miss Dean.
And her cheeks go red, like she's... But she will hold out the hand for the SD card.
We haven't even looked at the SD card yet.
This is the one that he took his photos on.
Okay.
And she will say, all right, I think we're done here for today.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll like put my hand behind my back with a thumbs up.
Yeah. And she'll look at the 4 of you, or at the 3 of you, because Kennedy didn't kind of move up and get in the middle of that from what I saw. So she's not tainted by association from Miss Dean.
I was busy bruising Charlie's ribs with my elbow.
And he definitely recorded that. Like he doesn't know what went on there, but he recorded it, and the others will skedaddle, like not knowing what's going on. And Mrs. Dean looks. Let me see. I think we get a last shot of her today, just looking angry and glaring at the 3 of you, knowing that you have somehow made a mortal enemy here of this teacher.
Awesome. It's the most interesting thing that's happened to me in my life.
So let's talk. Let's do the scene conversation outside after this. So do you guys go somewhere, or do you talk out here? Like do we do the scene of the 4 of you in the diner, or
We should go to the burger stand.
except it's the weekend. It's a student burger stand.
Oh, if only someone were in the burger club, they would know how to make shakes.
Oh, am I a part of the burger club? Oh no, just kidding.
I assume you go to like a steak and shake, or the 24-hour Greek diner kind of thing that's nearby.
Sounds good.
And so what does that conversation sound like?
That was awesome. That was awesome. There, that's how it sounds.
Allison, I would like to formally invite you to the Ghost Facers Club because I think you have a lot of potential.
Well, she kind of goes, but that's because there aren't really ghosts.
I mean, scholars have debated this over the years and have never come to a conclusive agreement. So you never know. But we solve a lot of mysteries. And I think you are probably the best that I've ever met at solving mysteries. You should join us.
All right, I'll do it.
Oh.
Are you guys going to do it too?
Ghost Facers?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they were pretty ruthless when they interrogated my mom, but I guess.
We were not ruthless, okay? Your mom was like chill AF, okay?
Yeah, but like she was crying later. Like, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know. Mom's secretive.
And as our noble respected student council member, are you going to get involved in the ghost hunting hijinks?
Of course.
Okay.
I was thinking of recruiting Buck to the student council too, but I think he has his place in journalism. I don't think you would want to deal with our nonsense.
Yeah, Buck was like really insistent on being the photographer.
That was good.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
and certainly Kathy will be working out how to do that so that she doesn't get burned. And I think that's where we're going to stop for today.
Okay.
You will get end of every sort of mystery. You get a couple of build points, which you can spend on abilities 1 for 1.
And do we refresh at the end of this mystery?
Yes, you will refresh everything at the end of the mystery.
Okay. Awesome.
I hope that was okay. It was a slight little thing, but I think shows a little bit of the system mechanics.
Yeah, I was into it.
Good.
It's interesting.
The throwdown is a little more mechanical than I'd hoped it would be, because it's got multiple rounds to it. But I think it was good, and I love the pressure that you brought there, Buck.
Yes.
That was pretty awesome.
That was excellent.
Thanks. Yeah, I was. It's hard to find a teenager's voice, and a healthy mix of really bad ideas with accidental good ideas.
It was good.
Buck was sassy. I like Buck.
It was good.
All right. So we play in another week, and then we skip and do another one. I don't think you're in for the other two, Asher.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
this is
There's
Lauren.
always a chance that Lauren will drop. If she does, we'll be asking you back.
Awesome.
So I appreciate you coming in for at least the one session to try it out.
Yeah, I mean, I had the book, so I was very happy to be able to play and try this out.
Had you played any Gumshoe before this?
No, this was my
Okay.
first time. Yeah. So.
There's a lot I like about it. And there's some fun stuff. We're doing Trail of Cthulhu right now, face to face, and so I'm getting used to how that works. And that has a lot of heavy stuff in it, even more than this. So it takes a bit. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the broadcast and thank you all again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.